Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods here. Let's wake up. Well, it is Monday morning, and welcome to Monday Morning Hangover. And boy, does it hang over. Des Bryant hit the nail on the head. Des Bryant quoted this: "What I see from this game so far, Dallas has the better players, but New England has the better coaches and game plan." There's a lot of places that could point fingers. You know, there were things that happened that just were bad. I mean, that we had no control over. The tripping call against Travis Frederick has got to be one of the worst calls ever. I need to find a website to find out how many times tripping has been called. We got called for it twice in that game. Now, I get it. There's some tripping calls, but, you know, that's one of those ones that I guarantee it's not called very often. Sometimes I almost feel like the officials go through the book the day before the Cowboys game and find penalties that haven't been called. And let's say, we're going to find this, we're going to call another Cowboys. Because we get some of the strangest calls. You think about the punt, they call the snapper for moving the ball. Have you ever seen them call it on anybody else? And I swear I've seen people moving the ball a hell of a lot more than that one. Unsportsmanlike conduct for too many men in the huddle, even though we didn't have anybody in the huddle, has been called twice, and both times on the Cowboys. Unnecessary roughness on the running backs for lowering the head has been called twice on the Cowboys. Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard and nobody else. But I'm not going to point my finger there because, you know, like Dak Prescott said, you know, only thing I can do is do my job. You know, when he was asked if basically they were trying to get him to throw the coaching staff from the bus and he wouldn't take the bait. You know, they said, well, is play calling an issue? He's like, play calling had nothing to do with the interception that I threw. So he took ownership of his own mistakes, which is better than usually what happens with our coaching staff. You want to know the difference in that game? Des is right. It's not a matter of us not having good players, because I can look around the league and say, other teams got trash, but they're doing better than what we're doing. Here's the difference here. It's Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, on 4th and 2, on his own 28-yard line, with 2 minutes to go, down to the Colts, 34-28.
4th and 2. With nothing else, trying to draw Indianapolis offside. And they really do go for it. And do they make it? Yes, the catch is made. And where is the spot going to be? Kevin Falk is there. The catch is made.
Here's what happened. Kevin Falk was bobbling the ball. So instead of getting forward progress, they marked him down where he actually landed on the ground.
Absolutely. Because they're going to measure it anyway, but they're going to be short. Now, this happens on the front side of the 2-minute warning, so if Belichick wants to challenge this, he can. We're not to the booth review yet, but as Chris...
But that's the difference between our coaching staff and Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick will find a way to win. Well, he didn't in that game, but you understand my point. He analyzed the Dallas Cowboys and knew that special teams is their Achilles heel. He knew that this game was going to be in terrible weather conditions. It was going to negate a lot of the Dallas Cowboys' offensive weapons. He knew that field position is key in a game like this because you're not going to get very many opportunities. And he knew that one play could change the game. And that block punt, my friends, that was the difference in the game. The only touchdown in the game came off that play. And when Jason Garrett had the opportunity to be Belichick-esque, couldn't do it. He's too conservative. No risk taker. Us kicking a field goal did nothing for us other than have the Cowboys cover the Vegas line. You still needed a touchdown to win. You had it down there, on the 10-yard line? 4th down. If you don't make it, that means New England has to go 90 yards. You kick the field goal, they get the ball back at the 25. You gave up 15 yards of field position for 3 points that did not matter. You could not get a field goal to tie the score or win the game. You still had to get a touchdown. And this is the problem with Jason Garrett. And you can go through game after game after game in his career where it's just not there. It's just not. You get tricked. You get deceived. People understand what you're doing because you've been doing the same thing forever. And I think finally that this is the beginning of the end of Jason Garrett with the Dallas Cowboys. We got a chance still to win the NFC East. You end up getting a victory over Buffalo on Thanksgiving, then a lot of this gets swept under the rug. But it still does not negate the fact that we have wasted so much time, so many players, year after year after year, and we still get the same results from the same guy. You've changed all the players twice. You can't tell me that you don't have some of the top tier talent in the NFL. But yet, it just doesn't seem to work. We knew going into this season after the end of last year when Jason Garrett seemed content to the fact that we made the playoffs and won one game. In fact, going to the podium and saying, I'm proud of our guys. We competed. We did a lot of great things, and I don't expect any changes to the coaching staff or anything. That whole trust the process, the way we do things. For the first time, Stephen Jones side-eyed him and said, wait a minute, Brody, you're satisfied with that? You're satisfied with just making the playoffs and getting one victory? Yeah. That was the beginning of the end. Hopefully the end is soon, because I can't take it. I just can't. There's no shame in losing to a team that is 21-0 at home. They've beat a lot of people. But the shame is when you actually could have won. That's the part that bothers you. It's going to be an interesting day, to say the least. We'll see if Jerry Jones backs up any of that bluster that he had last night, because he was talking to everybody, which is different for Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones usually will say nothing when we have losses like this. Usually he'll try to protect his coaches and find an excuse, because he could have easily said, you're playing defending Super Bowl champions at home on their home field that they have not lost the last 21 games. The weather was terrible. They just were the better team. That's what Jerry Jones could have said. But instead, he went off. and continue to go off. And I'm betting he will still go off today, as he should. If this seat isn't hot right now for Jason Garrett, it's never going to be. I'm Mark Holmes, and well, I got to get to my day job and try and get my mind off of this one because this one hurts.